Hey up. For some reason, I wanted to make Tung 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 Sahur as a cowboy, so I did. Here's what I did. Okay, confession time. I know the reason. I found it funny. I was talking to my friend who is on several layers of irony, at least I hope, who sends me brainrot videos on Instagram, and I was talking about what I wanted to make next. Next thing you know, I'm laughing at the phrase, "This tongue ain't big enough for the both of us," and I had no choice really, did I? I mean, at that point, I had to make this guy. All I could think of was Clint Eastwood's classic cowboy face on a cowboy triple T with a gun holstered and a barbed wire baseball bat. So, I mean, that's in my head. I have to make it. You know what I mean? So at this point, I've just got a basic foil body going, ready for some clay. And then I've stuck in some armature wire for the legs and given it a coat of liquid clay. If you've ever played Overwatch, I wanted to make him stand like how McCree stands, with the legs slightly bent back with a little lean, with the thumbs in the belt and the cigar in the mouth. It didn't end up working out that way, but that's the goal at this point. I wanted to get the Clint Eastwood face done early so that if I got it looking good, it'll give me that motivation to keep going. I ended up making it too big on the first attempt, so I added some height to him and moved his face up a bit, which you'll see later on. The main features of this classic face is the squinty eyes with all the wrinkles, so I knew I had to nail that.
Clint Eastwood.
I think, for a project like this anyway, a good hallmark of if you're doing it well or not is if you can just sit back and laugh at what you've made. The only other time I've done that is with the shark with blue shoes, brainrot. I've made a lot of brainrots, haven't I? I've made 3 brainrot characters, that's crazy. I need to get a life. I know literal 10-year-olds find this stuff funny, but again, I'm on layers and layers of irony. I swear I am. Right? Then I had to make him some cowboy shoes, and the only other time I've made shoes is when I made my Vanoss gaming character, and I really liked how they came out, so I knew I needed to cook. That's C-O-O-K, cook, just clarifying that. Unlike the Vanoss one though, these shoes don't have any laces, which is easier for me, but it also means they look a little less detailed, so I compensated for that by adding the little extra bits there. Finally, I'm nearly ready for my first bake, so I'm getting the texturing done. And thankfully, I've done this wood texture before on, in my opinion, my cleanest creation so far, when I made tree wrecks from Skylanders. It basically starts by rolling a big ball stylus up and down, and progressively going smaller and smaller, making sure to add a few swirly patterns here and there. It's always good to make a character with lots of bumps and grooves, as the painting process always comes out really well with all the dry brushing. Now that he's all hard for me, I can push these long sticks into the holes and pose him how I want him. I thought I'd make the bat now so I can sculpt the hands directly onto the bat instead of faffing around. I basically baked a long stick of clay, thickened one end and added a grip to the other. Then I've added more liquid clay to the arms, the same reason as before, and then slapped the clay on. To make the belt, I've used my pasta machine to get a nice flat bit of clay and cut it out with my hobby knife. I've then wrapped that around Big T and added some extra details. For his gun, I did film a bunch of it, but I could only ever end up making some sort of ray gun magnum hybrid, so I just made one off camera so I can sculpt how I like to sculpt, with the clay 3.7 inches from my eyeballs. As I said, I sculpted his hands directly onto the bat and then ended up doing the same thing to the gun, so that his thumb wasn't actually tucked into the belt and the fingers hanging out, and there's one good reason for that: lack of talent. I really tried to make it happen, but it wasn't clicking, so I just put the hand on the gun. I was going to then bake him a second time at this point, before I realised if I did, I wouldn't be able to add the poncho without snapping his hand completely off. I think the important part of this section was not worrying too much about the cloth texture that I made, because I can always add it back. It was more about creating those wrinkles to give it that sense of movement. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, the piece of clothing I had to get perfect. And I'm sorry to any cowboys watching this if I mess this up. And with that finished, as per, I'm going to shut up now because I'm painting, so enjoy this royalty-free cowboy music that I found. Ow. Ow, I'm making barbed wire. I can see why they make it like that. Yeah, so I ditched the barbed wire after my boo-boo, and just went with some nails instead. Honestly, that bit of wire went really deep into my thumb. I mean, that shit was bleeding a lot. Nails ended up being a lot easier as well. Just a bit of super glue, and then job's a good one. For the base, I wanted a Route 66 style road, so I glued a bit of sandpaper on some wood and started painting a road. It's eventually going to have the majority be sand as well, so just in case I miss a spot, I painted the rest yellow. I dry brushed a lighter grey on top of the road to make it look like concrete, and then painted on the white and yellow lines. A bit of PVA glue, and I sprinkled on some fine sand, and I also spritzed on some isopropyl alcohol to help lock it all in place. I then went ahead and gave it all a coat of ultra matte varnish to make it look less tacky, and then went back over the metallic bits with an ultra gloss varnish to make them shine again. I wanted to have some sort of rock in the background, and because I was too lazy to get up and go and find one outside, I just used the one I normally use to texture things. RIP. So I got that painted and then stuck on some little bits of foliage around the sand. Big T can then get the sparkle in his eyes back with some UV resin, and then I called it there. Subscribe for more stupid creations and some occasional good ones.